Thought I'd go ahead and, since I had some clay left, try and make a tea bowl or two. Start with a bigger piece. Open it up. Lift it up. Compress the lip frequently with really loose clay like this, otherwise it splits and makes you say bad words. One pull up. Before I pull up, I really compress where the base is going to be so that it doesn't spread on me, because I don't want to have to trim a bunch of clay off the width of the base when I'm done. Again, I'm throwing with slip so that I don't muck up everything. Compress the diameter of the base there. Now I'm going to pull it up. I got to remember to slow that wheel down. Like I said, when I'm throwing on the kick wheel, that's usually not an issue. Okay. Get some slip on the outside. Now I'm going to pull out the tool. This is a cow's tongue rib, and mine are even pink like a tongue, because when you get them here, or make them, you make them out of wood usually, and the wood is real finicky and it's hard to take care of, and if you're not careful they either split or they rot. And if you're paying money for them, and you paid 80 bucks for a rib, seriously, that's what they cost here, you don't want it to go out on you. So what I did was, for the ones I made and the ones that I bought and then tailored to the way I like, I got them the way I like them, and made plaster casts of them, and then I cast them in dental resin, and that's how I get these. So if one of these breaks or wears out, I just make another one. Since this is going to be a tea bowl, I want a nice lip, a good drinking lip. I want to compress it, push it out just a little bit, and I'm going to belly out the bowl a tad, just for shape. Compress the bottom one more time, and give it very light treatment on the lip, just to erase any slip lines that are left over. On the inside too. Smooth, give a nice smooth surface. Go ahead and compress the base again, where I'm going to cut it off with the thread. I've got this thread tool with a little knife on one end and a string on the other, and I always score a little indentation with the knife, and then I know that I'm going to cut a nice flat bottom off with the thread. Almost always works. Kind of get rid of the slip off the hands so I don't muck up the bowl. That goes back in the bucket, and then the tea bowl just comes right off here like that. Looks like I've got room for one more on the board, so I'll do one more. If you haven't guessed by now, you're watching either the first or the second video that I've ever made, so I apologize for the uncomfortable banter when it comes up. I'm one of those people whose mind just goes blank at odd times when I'm trying to talk into a camera. Get that lip thinned out a little bit, otherwise the bottom will tear when I try to thin the lip later. Alright. Compress the base where the foot's going to be and start the first pull. Leave a little at the lip so you don't thin it out too much. Get your slip. Slap it in there, spread it out, give it another pull. Teabowls often, a lot of the modern Teabowls end up being quite light. A lot of these old Karatsu and Edo style Teabowls were actually a little heavier than people think, but at that time, a long time ago, there were more men doing tea rather than women. Women tend to have smaller hands, and in modern times, it seems like they tend to prefer a thinner bowl that's a little lighter. Of course, if you're really good, which I'm not, and you can get a nice balanced bowl, it can be a little heavier, and you don't notice anyway. Okay, I'm going to put the rib in, compress the bottom nicely. Now I'm pushing on the outside right there to get a good sort of little tight neck where the base of the bowl goes into the foot. And I just bring it up. And the rib, if you just rely on the curve of the rib, it gives you a nice curve. You don't have to do much with your hands. And then I'm going to go in and compress the rim. You want a nice sort of, not, I don't want to say sharp, but you want the inside of the lip to be the place where the, you know, when somebody sips the tea, it's a nice cutoff point right there for the tea. I'm going to go ahead and put it out a little bit just to accentuate the shape, and then I'm going to go in and give it a little bit more roundness. Again, this is how I make them. Other people might do it different. And that's about it. One more time I'm going to go in and erase some of that slip. And since I already compressed the lip against the rib, I'm not worried too much about compressing it with the cloth. Because if you go over it and compress it really well with the cloth later, you end up with a round lip and you lose that nice sharp edge that you wanted. Check the bottom. This is not really an Edo style tea bowl. This is more of just an old Karatsu style tea bowl. This will get probably a feldspar glaze, maybe a little iron brush decoration with a brush. There it is. I don't know if you can see the shape there, but that's what it looks like. All right. Thanks for watching.